What's going on, YouTube? Today's topic is man enough. My name is RJ, and today we're going to be checking out a street interview video from your boy It's Complicated. Go check out his channel. Link is in the description. Let's get to it.
Can you name some controversial women's issues?
Controversial women's issues.
Abortion.
Oh, that's a good one. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean,
Of course we are.
Oh, well, I don't know. Like,
Name all of them.
Can you just name a few controversial women's issues?
Issues. The wage gap. The
Honestly,
sexual assault. Me too.
the Madonna horror complex.
Can you name any men's issues?
oh, men's issues.
They need to treat women better.
Erectile dysfunction.
Okay. But I
Okay,
mean, like,
right,
can you name
okay.
any like men's struggles?
Oh, struggles.
Mental health.
Yeah, mental health. That's definitely.
Actually, men commit rates. They actually commit
Suicide,
suicide
yeah,
most.
more. Yeah.
Okay.
Women attempt more, but men are more successful.
And can you name any men's issues?
Real quick. Now, the two young ladies that was just on the last clip, I appreciate them actually knowing what these issues are. But we gotta actually get down to something that y'all probably missed. When she spoke about suicide and how men have a higher rate of suicide, she had to interject, peep shit, you gotta peep it. She had to interject that women attempt suicide more, but men are more successful. Now, suicide is suicide. Either you did it or you didn't. And I understand, there are people out there that have tried to do that and they weren't successful, whether they were, found out, ambulance came, took them to the hospital, whatever. I sympathize for those people. But I don't think that we should deflate an issue by throwing something else that has nothing to do with that issue. If we're going to focus on the issue, we need to focus on the issue. We don't need to deflate it by adding and interjecting a conflicting statement in the midst of talking about an issue. Let's continue.
Yeah, like toxic masculinity.
Just honestly, the patriarchy affects everyone. So
Why do you think men's mental health is in crisis?
The stigma behind it, and it's negatively
Yeah, they're
looked
afraid to
upon.
like talk about it, and especially like family just like kind of shames that sometimes.
Why are men typically the ones blamed for inflating a woman's ego?
Because most guys love to tell women how beautiful they are.
Weren't men groomed to be that way?
We were.
Yes. And to respect women ever since we're little, for sure.
I don't
There's
know,
nothing
but we
wrong
don't do
with
that.
that.
They inflate their own ego.
Right, but I mean, what about simps? Simps are blamed for inflating a woman's ego, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's just degrading the value of the man, is what it does.
Weren't men groomed to be that way?
I hate to say it, yes, they were groomed to be simps. We're supposed to come in and just go with what goes on, just conform with the household, go out, work, bring it all in, and
Okay, real quick, let me interject. Men were only groomed that way by our mothers. And that's understandable. A woman is going to raise her son into a man that she can respect, right? But the son is never going to date the mother. The father's job is to come in and teach him how to be a man within that. You know what I mean? These are the core values of a man. This is how you live your life. This is how you treat your woman. This is shit that you don't take from your woman. These are things that you're supposed to understand and learn as a young boy. But a lot of us, we don't grow up with a father in the household. So us men, we're growing up around women. These are the only role models we have every day in our lives. So we do become a little simpish in our nature until we get our heart broken a couple times because we realize being a simp does not work. Let's continue.
We are supposed to treat a lady with respect, but no, we're not groomed to be lower ourselves for something else. Because if I lower myself to come to your level, I can't help you get to my level.
Right.
Are women equally guilty for demoralizing men and their ego?
Absolutely. Women choose. Women are choosers.
Are women equally guilty for demoralizing men and their ego?
Yes, they are, because women just could, like I said, they could easily go on some kind of social media and just post a picture of themselves and expect a man to go ahead and give her everything she needs because she's wearing makeup, basically. And you know what? That's not how it should be. It should be an even playing field for the both of us.
Aren't women raised to be spoiled as princesses?
Women are raised. Women are coddled. They absolutely are. Yeah.
So if so, why isn't that given any attention?
Well, because it's a woman world. Yeah, it's everything, rules around women. It's whatever the woman says, that's what the man's going to do.
I mean, I got a kid too, so I'm guilty of this. So, I don't know. It's just, I think it's something innate in us.
Since he doesn't know, let me answer it for him. As a man, you have an obligation to raise your son and your daughter in a way that they can be respectable people in society and contribute positively in society. When that job is not done correctly, then we have social media flooded with people that are destroying themselves, whether it be through challenges, drug use, any type of material that promotes destruction, right? But then we have those on the other side that might have came from that and then have realized that this is not the way to live your life, because guess what? And this is the only way you figure out if you're living your life the right way. Are you getting the results in life that you feel like you should get? If you are operating a certain way and aren't getting results, then flip the script. But as a man, yes, I'm gonna also tell my daughter, do not choose a bum out here on the streets. If he doesn't have to be a millionaire, you don't have to be a gold digger, but choose somebody, if they aren't already there, choose somebody that is on that path. Choose somebody that has morals and values. Choose somebody that does not beat on you, right? And that's all I'm supposed to do as a man. I can't teach her how to be a woman. That's what her mother's supposed to do. But I can give her advice on what to look for in guys. Let's continue.
Yes, biologically, we just want to build, protect, and our princess, our little girls, are somebody we can protect. I mean, obviously, since the moment they're born.
Do you find it hypocritical when parents advise their sons to avoid gold diggers while also advising their daughters to find a man who will take care of them?
It's hypocritical, but it's the way of the world. Doggy dog world, baby.
Are men no longer providing because women don't want to submit, or are women no longer submitting because men don't want to provide?
Oh, that's a
good question.
great question. I'm so glad that you asked that. I think it is because women don't want to submit because of, sometimes the guy's not worth it.
Right.
A woman will submit if the guy if she feels safe, if she feels secure, if he treats her right and respectful. So yeah, we will. It's almost it's automatic. You don't even have to say it. A woman will submit.
I 100% agree with this fine woman here. She has hit it right on the head. Take her advice.
A man is put on this world to take care of the woman. So a man is that, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what a woman's supposed to look for. A man that's able to take care of them. And a man is, I don't think that's a question for a man. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So what were women put on this planet for?
To produce, to nurture. Hello.
So then why are there so many women encouraged and raised to be independent rather than nurturing?
A lot of women were raised without fathers. So how could you
That's
know
true.
how to
That's
be a
true.
woman to a man if you didn't have a dad?
Well, right, but a lot of men were raised without fathers, so how could a man know how to be a leader and a provider to a woman if he didn't have a
100%
man
true.
teaching him that masculine role?
Let's think
I guess
about
that's
it.
just something we all got to figure out together.
Let's think about it.
Why are men expected to have a healthy perception of themselves, aka confidence, while people continue to blame men for women's inflated ego?
It falls under the social norm, I believe. Like I said, it's just my personal opinion. We're meant to hold that certain status. We're meant to be strong, be a guy.
We have to have confidence as men. We're the king of the jungle, man. We're the most dangerous species on this earth. If we wasn't, it wouldn't look like this, So as a man, we have to have absolute confidence in ourselves.
Right.
I think it really starts at the gym with other guys. We compete with each
Starts
other,
at the
so
gym,
we
it
have
does.
to always appear strong. But yeah, you're right. We always seem to always put a little weakness when it comes down to the woman. We'll be strong for other dudes, but girls, we always try to, I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, why are men expected to have a healthy perception of themselves, but we don't hold women to a standard of having a healthy perception of them? In other words, we expect men to have confidence, but we don't expect women to be humble.
I think, okay, so this is a good question. I think it's because it comes down to the ego. Women do not have.
I am going to cut him off right here. I just got to interject the point. The reason why men are attacked in a way to make sure we keep our egos in check. If we get too inflated, there will be pressures that fall upon us that will try to stand on top of us, right? Where it's not really always the same for women. And they do have their own judgment and whatever the case may be, but it doesn't hit the same, if that makes sense. Because women are consumers. Women spend most of the money in the world, period. Women are behind most purchases. Men, we buy fancy houses, nice cars to show an image to the women that we want to court, right? We do all this for women. We don't do this shit for ourselves, right? So in order to manipulate women the way that needs to be done to get their money, we have to tell them what they want to hear. We have to tell them they're never wrong. We have to tell them that no matter what you look like, what your weight is, or whatever issues that you have with your personality traits, you're still correct. Men don't get that. Men do not get that luxury. And that just is what it is.
Have as much ego, so they're not required for all of that, you know, to be humble, to be all these different things. We only really require them. We as men require them to just look good and just come along for the most part.
Why do women often attack a man's masculinity when they don't get what they want?
Oh, that's a good question. Why do I attack masculinity?
Because women run the world.
Masculinity.
I love that
As
answer.
in-
Like what? It doesn't make any sense.
Like you don't lift enough. Like you're not manly enough. You're not a man.
I didn't know they did that. Personally, I like a feminine man.
But I think if a woman goes for that, it's just because throughout history, that's like the biggest defining factor of like what a man is like they're a manly man.
The easiest hit.
Isn't that hitting below the belt?
Hitting below the belt? What do you mean
To
by
attack,
that? Sorry.
to attack someone's masculinity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it any wonder why men's mental health is in crisis?
Absolutely, yes, because women believe that just because they throw on some makeup and look pretty, that they can get any man, and this is really taking advantage of the man. And because you might not be a good-looking guy, that you might not have all this money, you might not have all this stuff, then that's putting you in a status where you basically get ignored by a lot of women, which is a terrible thing for a lot of men today.
It is often said life isn't
Well
fair.
spoken.
Who is more likely to be expected to accept injustice, men or women?
Men.
Women.
If it's not men, why do we have the expression "take it like a man"?
You're good.
He is good, lady.
Because men are supposed to have this strong front, so
Does a man have the right to define what a woman is?
absolutely not.
So then,
Absolutely not.
what gives women the right to define what a man is?
We don't.
That's a lie.
But didn't you just say a man's supposed to be this and a
I
man's
said
supposed to be that?
supposed to. Yeah.
Is that not defining what a man is?
Well, somewhat, but not just clear like that.
Don't run from it. Don't run from it. He got you in the corner. Now, this is where fight or flight happens. When you get somebody in a corner, you have to make them eat their own words a little bit. Instead of fighting, she's on the flight right now. Let's continue.
If it's not men, why do we have the expression "take it like a man"?
Well, I never heard "take it like a woman."
No.
So then, wouldn't the answer be men?
It would be men.
We talk about things. A lot of times men don't. They don't like to tell us their problems. They don't, they shut down easily. Most women, they'll talk about things and issues, but a lot of times men are silent, so they kind of withhold.
But do you think that men often withhold their feelings because when they express their feelings, it's often shamed and made fun of?
No. I think from growing up, they always say, well, men, you're not supposed to cry. Take it like a man. So they have to build this persona.
Is it any wonder why men's mental health is in crisis?
Yes, because soon as a man opens up to a woman and tells them like their deepest, darkest secrets, women tend to use that against men. And I don't know why. I'm a woman and I don't know why.
That's very true.
What is the difference between sexism and racism?
Sexism and racism. There is no difference. The one is discrimination of color and one is discrimination of sex.
What's the difference between telling a black man you're not black enough and telling a man you're not man enough?
Great question.
Oh, that's a good one. Telling a black man he's not black enough.
It's no
can
different.
Be, oh, that's a good one.
It's the same thing. I've been told that my whole life. I went to I've been in the hood, I've been in the suburbs. In the suburbs, they said you're white. In the hood, they say you're black. Or other way around, actually. I'm sorry. You're not white enough. You're not black enough.
We get you, my brother.
And black enough. As you can see, I make racism look stupid. I'm two different colors. So, to me, it's just to me, that's a funny question. Literally, like, it makes me laugh because how can you ask someone who's lighter than a white guy about someone who's black? It's just an interesting concept. But like I said, I think that just relates. It goes back to the racism being a system and how people are used to or falling victim to that system.
In my book, that's equal, man.
So why is it okay for women to be sexist but not racist?
It's definitely not okay for them to be sexist.
Why is non-blatant racism often exaggerated while blatant sexism is often ignored and made fun of?
Because, like I said, it goes back to the thing where women are always coddled. If a man came out there was, start crying and all this other shit, of course we're gonna get ridiculed. Like, you can't do that as a man. You have a masculinity figure to show, and a female can absolutely do that. But that's not how it should be. Everything should be, on a same playing field. But
No. I believe as a man, you should learn to be stoic. If you don't know what the word stoic means, I'm going to give you a very short, brief description. It's a man that stays stable in his emotion in the midst of chaos. Because you're around a lot of chaos doesn't mean you have to be a part of the chaos. That's what stoic means. Men need to learn how to be stoic. If you didn't learn from your father, you need to read these books out here that teach you how to do so. You need to watch some people that talk about stuff like this. And I think that is an obligation on a man. That means an obligation is not something that is a choice. It is mandatory. In order to lead a household, which is your duty as a man, you should be stoic. You should be firm in your frame and in your choices in life. And if you mess up, you correct it. You don't do it again. Let's continue.
Falls under that social norm category. I mean, there's movements that support, things like that, but we have very little support on our end. So we just, back to that one word, take it like a man.
I know this, when a man's going through a struggle, people aren't going to listen to him. When a woman is going through a struggle, the whole world knows.
Speaking of not being man enough, is the modern man not man enough to handle the modern woman, or is the modern woman too much to handle?
I feel like the modern woman is too much to handle because this day and age, women, they're under the impression that they really don't need a man, so therefore they become that much more independent to where that they're like, okay, well, if you can do it, I can do it. A lot of things that men were capable of, like women didn't have the rights to work for a long time. And then once we were able to work, okay, well, it's the sense of, okay, if he can do it, I can do it.
Do y'all remember the song? Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do everything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Do y'all know why that song was created? Think about it.
Does a man have the right to define what a woman is?
No.
So then what gives women the right to define what a man is?
They do not.
But they do, don't they?
I mean, they can give their opinion, but they don't have the right to, in my opinion.
But when I was raised, men are supposed to be strong. We were taught that they weren't supposed to really be emotional. They were supposed to support us. So it's kind of like programming.
Isn't that defining what a man is?
I guess so.
Why do you think that men's mental health is in crisis?
Because of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, they're taught to be strong and not care about things, and so, you know.
Yeah, it's all toxic masculinity. They're taught to not think about stuff, and that if like they're not, men aren't introspective.
They're also not always willing to talk about it though, even if they want to, and that's.
For some women, it can be like connecting, you know, like
Yeah,
you like
intimacy.
realize that they have like a soft side, and like we're into that sometimes, you know.
Has a man crying ever gotten a woman wet?
Great question.
Not me. It's not gotten me wet. Like I've been
but
concerned.
it makes me, you know, have a lot of empathy.
What is the difference between the masculinity that women find attractive versus toxic masculinity?
I think masculinity where you find attractive is where you're not thinking about that actively as a man. When you can like
So good.
yeah, you know what?
You're just masculine naturally. Yes, you're not performing. You're not. Masculinity doesn't mean misogyny.
Why are some people
Of course
willing
it
to
doesn't.
accept that life
Like
isn't
what?
fair while other people want to change the world?
I feel like people that feel like life isn't fair are people who can't acknowledge their own wrongs. I feel like it's those people that's inexperienced with life and just need someone to blame. I read a really interesting book called The Four Agreements. It was about Tolmec knowledge.
He's been reading. Think about it.
And it pretty much talked about how people's negative energy reflects on other people ultimately because of themselves. So I feel like life isn't fair. Life is what you make it, and just make it the best. You know, I unfortunately I grew up all in, you know, I was homeless since I was 3 years old. So for me to be having an interview with a guy like you means a lot to me, and for me to never use my adolescence as an excuse. It just answers the question. Sometimes we gotta step outside of ourselves, really look at ourselves and what we're in, and play chess.
Why do people insist that things will never change when history has proven that things have already changed?
Ditto with that one, because history, like I said, repeats itself. And even though certain things back in the day has changed, the common denominator is still there.
Why do so many people believe we're living in a male-dominated patriarchy if the standards and selectivity of women is what you believe drives civilization to become better?
Wow. I think it's getting backwards. I think people are forgetting how much men have contributed to the whole society and the world as a whole.
Big facts.
And yes, now women have the rights to basically play those parts like a man, but most of them don't choose to be that, and they like a man actually doing these kind of things.
Right.
It's a man's world, man. Women are trying to come up, but they don't want to do the jobs that we do. They don't want to go to war. Some of them do, very select few.
Right,
they don't want to go to war. They don't want to be down in these sewers cleaning up. They don't want to be building these buildings and stuff like that. I mean, that's something they would rather do. But if that's the truth, if it's not a man's world, then they need to get down in the sewers and go do it.
I was just saying, all this was built to have a woman have a really good time. I mean, it was just used to be just a building.
We do it for the women. We do it to make you happy. Back in the hunter and gatherer days, guys would go out and hunt the deer. Bow! Shoot the deer. Now this deer is a medium-sized deer, but now we got something to eat. But the family across the way, he caught a bigger deer. Now, in essence, we both got something to eat. But she right here is like, I wanted that size of a deer. That one looks better. So we go harder and we go harder. I ain't gonna lie. To a degree, women really do motivate men. And that's the balance of it all. There's nothing wrong with it.
And a woman said, hey, I want to gamble with it too. I want to eat here too. I want to dance here too. And they just put everything in there. So yeah, women definitely inspire us to build.
Shout out to It's Complicated. Go down and check out his channel in the description below. Let me know what you guys think about some of the topics that were brought up in the video. I'm very excited to see you guys' comments. It's your boy RJ. Like the video if you enjoy. Subscribe to catch more content like this. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Deuces YouTube.